Call the meeting to order and a moment of silent prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We also need to say a silent prayer for the peoples in Ukraine. So let's just all pray that some kind of closure comes to that and those people are safely able to return to their homes and or whatever's left of their homes, but just peace on the earth. Thank you, everybody. Okay, roll call. Mrs. Thompson?
Mayor Kindle,
Present.
Councilwoman Constantino,
Present.
Councilman Jenny,
Here.
Councilman Pies,
Present.
Councilwoman, I'm sorry. Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki,
Here.
Councilwoman Williams,
Present.
Councilman Toussaint,
Present.
Acting City Manager Szymanski,
Here.
City Attorney Diwali. Here.
All right. So, number one, we have a couple of presentations today. First of all, we will ask Wayne County Commissioner Tim Killeen to come to the podium.
There's something to get this on? It is on.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Mayor Kindle, and members of council. Thank you for having me. We're going to have a little update from the county here today. I'm going to mention a couple of things about the county in general, where we're at. I have a few things locally for Harper Woods and what I've been working on. So with that, and so we'll start, and this is no news to any of you guys. County finances and municipal finances are in about the same situation. We're on a status quo budget, and we have been for 3 or 4 years now. You know, we went through that process with the state of Michigan. It wasn't bankruptcy, but it was one tick below that, and overseeing our budget. And so, status quo budget. This year will be the first year that we reach 2008 levels in property tax revenues since 2008. It's been like 14 years after the collapse. If I straight line what our revenues were in 2008 till today, we're out about $800 million. And that's caused significant issues. But we have had disciplined budgets. We are now two ticks. The second tick was announced about a month ago, above junk bond status. We finally made it out of junk bond status
Okay.
about
Well, that's a plus.
6-7 months ago. And also, the county is a recipient of about $340 million of the ARPA dollars. So we're looking at that right now too. But as you guys know, that's not for necessarily day-to-day operations. We've had a lot of holes since COVID. I would say immediate issues before the county right now, excuse me. We have to replace our electronic bookkeeping system. It's a $33 million lift. And so that constrains me in other ways in the budget of what I can spend on. Our J.D. Edwards bookkeeping system that the county is on, it's about 25 years old, something like that. Some of it's not even supported anymore. I tell people J.D. Edwards is on my prayer list, because if that thing ever goes down, I'm going to have to hire 200 people in green eye shades just to keep the county books going. So we're in the middle of that right now. But that does, and I'm not unhappy about it. We've needed to do it. We've needed to do it for years. And Executive Evans has bitten the bullet on this. We've also lost about half of the staff in the county over the last 10, 12 years because of the downturn. So running lean, that doesn't even begin to describe it. And our employees have not really had any significant raises in those 10 years. They have gotten a crappier health plan that they're paying more for. So one of the things as a commissioner, as our revenues increase, I want to see that we're making a commitment back to build back for our employees. We have a difficult time keeping people. I've gone through 3 heads of our IT department in the last year and a half. When you're talking about department heads, we can't pay the wages, so private industry, and especially in something like IT, pulls them away from us. I can't get enough lawyers in the
Prosecutor's office.
prosecutor's office because other counties can afford more in pay. So we do train a lot of people and then they leave for elsewhere. And I tell people every time they introduce to me a new department head, I go, that person's 10 years younger than the last one. And then 8 months later, I meet the new one, I go, they're 10 years younger than that one. So having that seasoned people that really know the county, we're struggling with that too. And you got to have those kind of employees that have been around for 20, 25 years and know the system. And I'm also going to be, as part of the American Recovery Act dollars, I'm looking, and the county executive thus far has said, we haven't seen anything yet, except very general. He's looking at a $30 to $40 million for our public health system. And we do need some long-term changes in the public health system. Wayne County in general for public health, well, is ranked 83rd out of the 83 counties in Michigan for everything from hypertension to diabetes to obesity. A lot of those all work together. So looking at things like the social determinants of health, which is a rather new idea in public health, that you just don't look at what kind of prescriptions they need. Are they employed? Do they have transportation? All these factors that play into people's health. And if you're not in good health, it's hard to keep a job for any kind of a long time. You can't call up 2 or 3 times in the first 2 weeks going, oh, I'm sick, I can't come in today. So I'm looking for a long-term investment there, and we'll be working on that. To discuss Harper Woods just for a minute, I have met with Ty Hinton and Steve Lindley as of a few weeks ago to discuss the Kelly Road Corridor Plan. Kelly Road is a county road, so we meet occasionally and talk about navigating their way through the county to get that road plan on the road. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of the Girard Drain. 1, 2, 3, yeah. I knew nothing about it. Turns out I'm a board member. Under the drain code in Michigan, wherever there's a drain, the county commissioner in that area is automatically on the board. Well, a lot of these boards don't have any reason for meeting for a long time. So I'm a statutory member of that. And we had a meeting here recently to talk about, and similar to the Milk River that you guys talked about a couple of years ago, and we're looking at transferring it to that same South Macomb Sanitary District. However, and it runs down the middle of Beaconsfield with a little spur that goes down Allard? Because it goes into Grosse Pointe Woods just a little bit. So apparently about 20 years ago, there was discussions out here, maybe 25, with the Woods and with Harper Woods that said, fine, right? Let's get that, let's move that. So as a board member, I was like, well, that was 25 years ago. So if they haven't already, Harper Woods is going to be contacted for input on what they think this change is to the Girard Drain. Just want to make sure that everyone has been talked to. So that'll be coming towards
Will
you.
they talk to you?
And then finally, I want to talk about parks for a minute. On your Wayne County tax bill, you see that long line of $25 for this, $8 for that, goes all the way down. One of those things is the county millage for parks, okay? And of course, almost all Wayne County parks are west of Telegraph, right? There's not that much on the east side here at all, except for the water park at Chandler. The Wayne County Commission a few years back, because you guys pay into it, everybody in the county pays into it, passed an ordinance where commissioners now peel off about $100,000 each annually. But Parks Millage brings in about $10 million. And I can direct that $100,000 annually to parks within my district, which includes the Grosse Points. But I can't spend money there because they have resident-only parks. They don't have parks that are open to everybody. So the east side of Detroit and Harper Woods. This year, I have earmarked 75 grand. Apparently, you need to resurface your tennis courts this year. And I would say, and this is, I know it's conservative, but I would say over the years, something like 250,000 of your county property taxes have come back and are in a Harper Woods Park somewhere. And I was really disappointed, not disappointed, you know, I've worked with John Bobeck ever since I've been a commissioner, and John has been so great and so easy to work with. So I have a little thing from the county that I want to give him. I had to track him down because he's at home now and say, John, do you think you can come up Monday? So if you don't mind, Madam Mayor, if I can bring John up.
Yes.
And John, it's just been great, I want to tell you. And I called what I thought was John's number, but it turned out to be Siobhan's number.
Yep.
So she and I have had a little talk, and we're gonna get together, and I'm gonna go over this with her too. Retiring following years of service to Harper Woods, whereas we are pleased to honor you on the special occasion of your retirement following years of dedicated services to the city of Harper Woods. Your commitment to fulfilling your duties as director of the city's rec department is to be commended, and your support towards meeting the needs of the residents is greatly appreciated. We extend our sincerest wishes on this chapter in your life, and it'll be filled with spirit of health, happiness, personal fulfillment. We also give you a little quote from Abraham Lincoln, and in the end, it's not just the years of your life that counts, it's the life of your years. So John, it's been great working with you. Yeah, just great. So thank you very much. And thank you, members of council.
Thank you. If I could say one thing, I want to thank Mr. Colleen for this award, and I think we worked pretty well together, but I also want to thank the mayor, the city council, and the city manager also for their support over many years. And again, just thank you. It's been a.
Well, we're gonna miss you,
It
John.
really has, and I'll also mention, I said to John, I get this 100,000 a year, but I can't put something every year into Harper Woods, right? I got all these parks all over the east side of Detroit. And I said, it's probably every 2, maybe 3 years that we'll make a visit again. And then John would call me up and say, is it our turn yet? But I'll tell you, that was very effective, and it made me want to do even more, right, for that. But just the ease of working with them. Not everybody's that good about money. But, there's a lot of people that demand. John asked, and that was a beautiful thing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Elizabeth King.
Ms. King? Elizabeth King? Is she here? Isn't that her? She's not here? Okay. Wayne State, would you guys come forward? Go to the podium.
Good evening to Mayor Kendall and this honorable board. My name is Lisa Carter. I am the program manager for the AmeriCorps Urban Safety Program at Wayne State University. And this is program director Ramona Washington. The Center for Urban Studies has contracted with the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services to distribute water filtration systems to the city. Actually, there are a number of communities that we're going to be in, but specifically to Harper Woods. A few years ago, MDHHS was in Harper Woods and partnered with you to distribute those water filtration systems, the filters. So MDHHS, like I said, has contracted us to join the team. We are able to distribute a water filtration system which consists of either a pitcher, water pitcher, pure water pitcher, or the faucet attachment to residents with the replacement filters. After the residents complete a brief survey with the residents as part of the project to determine their usage and what type of filter is needed, the AmeriCorps members will bring the items directly to the residents, and if the residents request to have the faucet attachment installed, our members will do that. But it's only at the request of the residents. We don't have to go into homes if the residents don't want us to go to the home. We can be contacted at 313-444-9508.
Can you give that number again, please?
313-444-9508. And our email address is amosprogram@gmail.com to request a survey or delivery. And everything is, of course, free of charge to the residents of City of Harper Woods. So far, we've distributed 1,100 filters to cities, to Inkster in specific, and we've been in Highland Park, we've been in Dearborn Heights, and we've distributed over 1,000 plus to other filtration systems to other communities. So just wanted to let you all know that that's what we are doing, and we will be in your community.
Can you repeat the email, please?
Sure. Amos, AMUS, program @gmail.com.
And you will leave your information so that we make sure that we have it in case anybody calls and whatnot.
Absolutely.
I think John has you down here, but just in case you have a business card or whatever, you can leave with us and make sure that we have the information to make direct contact. And these ladies, we ran into each other at another meeting the other day, and so I invited them to come here to make a presentation because we got off on the wrong foot with this a month or so ago, as you remember, and we thought that it was a scam coming through the city, and we put out notice that it was a scam, and they're not a scam.
Yeah, no, we're not a scam.
It's just that we weren't informed
Yes.
of them coming, and so we've squashed that, got that together, and we are all on the same page of working together because whatever's best for our residents is what we want to be about, and clean water is definitely something we want everyone to have. So we want everyone to know that the city is in conjunction with Wayne State and the state of Michigan to do this water study that they're doing. Yes?
Madam Mayor, is there a, like a limit or a level that the resident has to reach?
No, they're
Is it
free of
based on
charge for-
income?
There's no, because we don't test water. That's the state, the city, whoever
No.
works with that.
You mean
So we-
income?
Yeah.
No. Is there any income level? It's all,
No, eligibility is just that you can't afford a water filter.
Okay.
That on the survey eligibility, one of the questions is, I'm a resident of this household, and I can't afford a water filter, whether it's a faucet filter or whether it's a pitcher that we receive. All of our members will be in Wayne State or AmeriCorps here. We have provided the application with the IDs of the canvassers, so everyone will be properly identified. We'll never ask for people's credit card, money information, and they'll also have a Wayne State ID on their lanyard.
All right, and their house does not have to have a problem identified? It's just anyone who wants it, basically?
They want to keep this contract wants to keep every household, so it doesn't have to be identified as having a lead solder in the basement. I've known and have worked with a couple of programs. There's no eligibility as far as income, household, nothing.
Wow.
So one more
Thank you.
question. So if I wanted to, one of my residents wanted one of these, I could just give them your phone number and they would, or email you?
Yes, yes, yes. All they have to do is call us, email us. Most of them, like in Inkster, because once that news story came out, even Inkster was a little bit skeptical to let us in, and we've had some rough days out in Inkster, won't lie. But they sent it to the email. We were like, we don't even want to touch your door. We'll put it in a bag, on your doorknob, and we'll call to tell you that it's on your door, that we wanted no face-to-face contact. So we limited our desire to go in the house to install.
Wow.
Is there anyone else?
Yes,
Question,
Mayor.
Councilwoman?
I was wondering whether this program's in Detroit also, or is it just certain cities?
We are in everywhere else. I'll answer that one. That's a tough one. We are in every community except Detroit. We are working other avenues. Their action-led exceedance level has come down. The city water department handles it differently. In most communities, it's handed down through the health departments. The city of Detroit is unique in itself, that it comes through the water department. So we have a list from the state of Michigan that covers all of the communities in Oakland, Macomb, and Wayne County that we're hoping to get to, at least the first run through, hopefully by the end of this year, early next year.
Okay, and one more question.
All right, thank you.
You said there
Yeah.
wasn't, you said there wasn't a limit on the number of residents in Harper Woods that can call and get this?
Absolutely
No.
none. The state has a open pocket, or because they literally ship us close to 500-600 twice a week that I have to put in a room and then disseminate out to the
Wow.
community. So there is no, if it was their way, they'd give one to every household. During COVID is when they did the initial mail out of it, and it went straight from the state to households based on WIC information, based on things that would tell them a kid lives in the house. So now with our program, that's why they contracted us, because we had the mobility, the staff, and the people power to go
Okay.
door to door.
Okay, and then one more question.
All right,
The other question is, could you just repeat that once the residents call you, what is it? You said they had to fill out a survey?
Yep, it's about
Okay.
6 questions long, and it's, do you own one, and we wanna know the point of use, because what they're trying to determine is what's the use rate. Prior to us providing the filters, how many residents were already using filtered water? Because they're finding throughout the state that a lot of people who may have low trust levels for their water are using bottled water, refrigerated water, so they're finding other mechanisms to use water. So basically, they're trying to determine the use of that individual household.
Thank you.
John, is
Yes.
it,
I just have a suggestion that whenever you send a group to work in the city, please contact our police department just to let them know that you're gonna be in the city, because what happens is residents will call, and if you're not identified and we don't know anything about it, they're very, very skeptical.
Yep, that's a
The me-
lesson learned.
The meeting that we had
Yeah.
discovered that, so we were under, because we're contracted, right? And they gave us this list of communities, and they gave us the residents that they even mailed out the filters. So we thought going into these communities that they know that we're coming, their residents got some, they worked with somebody. So we were like, let's go. And Harper Woods has taught me a lot of lessons, and I'm already, because we're going to Hamtramck next, so I'm already in communications with their police department and trying to get on their city council board, thanks to the mayor's great recommendation of trying to come and present at open comment. So it's just more than just the police, the public safety department that knows. Yeah.
Madam Mayor.
yes,
Is there a reason why you don't drop off X number of, items to City Hall so
We
that
already
residents
do.
could come and pick them up?
Because we're required to have a signature of
Okay.
the resident. So they give us this eligibility form, and that signature at the bottom line is why we're going door to door. And they have, in lots of communities, provided filters, but they think the take rate, like if I'm at your door, here, would you like this? And this is how you use it. So the take rate is a lot easier. And quite honestly, in looking at Highland Parks and Dearborn Heights results, they're hesitant because they don't want to face another challenge with trying to figure out how to get a filter within their own communities.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's true for Harper Woods, but that's what residents reported in other communities.
And just one thing for the record, we have not been in your community yet.
Yeah.
We've been calling.
Well, yeah,
So we haven't been in your community yet, so we just wanted you all to know that that's what we're in the process of doing.
Okay.
And we will be communicating a lot better.
okay.
As a result of what we've experienced.
Well, thank you very much for coming.
Yeah.
Is there any
Thank
further
you.
questions from anyone on council?
Mayor, Mayor, really quick, because Bill's in the audience. I know we do water testing all over the place. Our action levels are not to get these water filters. We're still good with our action levels, correct? With lead? So this is just a precautionary thing that our water system is fine.
Right.
It's just a thing that if you want it, you can have it.
Right,
We are,
Reduced because at the point when, so a little bit how contracts work. When this contract went into play, it was right when the lead copper rule came out. And a lot of communities throughout the state of Michigan, a lot that were never on a list became on a list. And so we started talking about this contract, even though it didn't roll out until last fall, 3 years ago. So to get through the contracts, the bidding, the writing process, at that time, almost every community, I feel like, in the state of Michigan, because of the stricter laws, went into place. And the last one, like, we even asked, like, well, this number's not unsafe, so why don't we go to another community?
Right.
And their thoughts were that it has to test out, according to the state, that it has to test out so many times before, and with the number being reduced, it's, the number being reduced from 15 to 12 this upcoming year, it's better to be proactive and get what we can and give the best service that we can to residents in the community.
yeah, correct. I just want to make sure our residents understand that we still have a functioning,
Yes,
safe water
yes.
system, just, it's there for precaution.
Yeah.
You know, to that point too, I'm wondering if you could update the city with a list of folks that you do provide filters to for our databases. Good to know.
I can do that. I'm just gonna put one more question for them to give me permission to share contact information with you. Because the reason why we got the information from the state is because the resident who got it agreed that we can have their contact information. I'll be more than happy in case you need to follow up for Hartsville. And some communities, like Highland Park, we did it for the water testing people at the state where we got permission to give their contact information because they were trying to find houses to run the water filter test.
Okay,
So-
and outreach would be back to you if they need replacement
Yes.
cartridges?
With how this contract works is that, initially we give them a year supply along with the faucet filter or the pitcher filter. But in 1 year, we're simply gonna go put a doorknob hanger, scan on this QRC, call this number, send this email for your refills, because we know that they should need refills unless there's been a transition of resident. And at that time, we'll offer the new resident, because people take their pictures with them when they move, right? We'll offer the new resident, the filtration material.
Sure, thank you.
All right,
Thank you very much.
So should we
Thank-
be the one receiving the contact information?
No, and I think maybe the essential collection point is the city clerk or something to that nature.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item C, because I don't see Miss, she's not here.
King.
Elizabeth King is not here, right? Okay, well, we move on to approval of minutes. I need a motion.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Sawicki?
I'll offer the motion to accept, receive, and file the the minutes of the regular city council meeting held March 7th, 2022.
Support.
Discussion? Seeing none? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, public comment on agenda items. That's anyone in the audience that wants to reflect on whatever's on the agenda. And you have 2 minutes. Seeing none, we'll move right along to consent agenda, and I need a resolution.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll make the resolution to approve a consent agenda items 1 through 8.
Support.
Support by Councilwoman Constantino. Discussion.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Sawicki?
2 real quick questions from the check register. And one is for check number 124177, Grosse Pointe Chamber Annual Award Event Dinner. Is that something I missed, or is that something coming up, or? Is
No,
something-
that was last
Week.
that's-
last week. You missed.
I guess I did.
You
Okay.
did.
I didn't hear about, or I don't remember. All right, and the other question has to do with check number 124212. I am assuming that it is a lawyer that has been appointed for certain cases in the court, but that's not what it says. It just says appointed, and so I just wanted to verify the reason for that. And my thing is lost now. It's on our page 3, or the third from the last page, yes, 3. Once again, check number 124212.
Maria?
Attorney.
Okay, thank you. It's not indicated, so, thank you.
Madam Mayor,
Yes,
I was wondering if our acting city manager could explain to all of us regarding the home and the PATS payment. I understand it. I was contacted by a resident about it, and I thought perhaps it might just be a good idea to reiterate it, so it's on the record here and everybody can hear it.
Sure. What happens, in summary, we pay 2 checks. I believe one is for $6,000, one is for $14,000, combined $20,000. The $6,000 check is to provide transportation services for our senior citizens. The remainder, $14,000, is to provide actual services on behalf of our senior citizens through the HELM. And what happens is we pay the money out and we are reimbursed by Wayne County.
right. This says 16.
Pardon me?
It says 16,000.
6?
6 and 16,000.
Wait.
That'd
And
be
the city is
22
required to do
total.
this by the county, is that correct?
Yeah, as part of our agreement
Right.
with PATS, seniors riders, I should say, have not been paying any fares during COVID, and through the month of April, they're able to ride free.
Free.
I don't know how much longer that, is gonna be a possibility because of the gas prices,
Right.
but, that's the general gist of it, and I'm looking at the payments here.
The payment documents say the Helm Center is 14,000, but on the
Yeah,
cover
there's a-
sheet, it says 16.
This is a misprint, yeah, it should
Okay.
be, yes. it's-
14,000.
Okay,
yes.
thank you. That's, you were saying 14, but I'm
Yes.
looking at 16. So I want a clarification. And,
Just for the purposes of our, community out here in the audience, could we have some examples of some of the things that, we know that the 6,000 covers our transportation, but the 14,000 is a little ambiguous. Could we have some examples of some of the things that, services that Helm offers that our city covers with that 14,000?
Sure, Ty? Ty will tell you in detail.
and the next time, we should have Ham here to explain to our community exactly what they do.
Well, in all honesty, I don't know the exact services that the Helm provides, but I do know every year, all the Grosse Pointe communities in Harper Woods, because we receive those services for our seniors, that we pledge X number of dollars of our community development block grant funds, $20,000 each. And the invoice actually says for the 14,000, it's sort of a fee for the services that are provided to the seniors from Harper Woods and all the Grosse Pointe communities. And these senior services, I'm not conversant with what Helm actually does, but it is for those services.
Are there any further questions?
Well, does it like cover the lunches or?
Lunches.
There's a variety of
There's a
things.
variety.
We can bring somebody in here from Helm or some more
I think that'd be a
information.
good idea.
If I could move in for a second. I took a tour of Helm last year, and I reported
Yes.
on it here at council. memory at the moment. I recall that they offer classes that you can go to on site, including computer classes if you want to learn
Yes.
how to do something. They offered
Foreign
exercise.
language.
They offered exercise classes there. They offered some online programs, at least last year that they did. And I believe they also loan medical equipment.
Yes.
And they have a phone number that you can call if you need information about, like an emergency service or like COVID, if you had questions related to that. I might have some paperwork at home, but
But
they also
no,
have a website.
I think what we'll do is ask him to come here and give our residents an explanation via video so people can always download it and we get the information from the horse's mouth. That's it.
I think it's a great idea.
Sounds good, yeah, because I mean, I thought I remembered something about like snow removal or something like that, but we haven't had the helm here in a very long time, and I
Correct.
took a tour when they first opened, but that was years ago.
And
There's
they do charge
information
you-
on the
they
Madam
do
Mayor?
charge you a membership fee.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I've been,
Mayor,
okay.
I'd like to remind the council that block grant funds we use, and I helped in that effort to get them a standby generator in case of power failure. And they're going to have their whole bottom level redone
Okay,
with a grant from Wayne County. So Wayne County is really trying to support them so that they can continue to give services to our seniors.
and also our monies from DAAA also comes and goes to the Helms. So we need to understand exactly all the pots of monies that goes to the Helms on our behalf and what our citizens and residents of Harper Woods is entitled to. So, yeah,
And they do
we'll make
mail
that happen.
materials. They do.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, is there any further discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah, I just had one question about the approval of purchase for We Build Fund, about the benches and ground grills for Johnston and Salter Park. This company, We Build Fund, have we used this company before for other things for our Parks and Rec, or is this a new company?
This is, let me see.
We're not to that part in the agenda yet.
Yeah, we are.
Yes, we are. We are,
Yeah.
consent agenda.
Part of the consent.
Oh, okay.
I do want to say that we will be reimbursed by Wayne County. I do have the PO somewhere here,
This is for the We
Yeah.
Build Fund.
yes.
And also, some of those things will be probably, some of the benches that we were able to rescue out of Eastland will be also a part of the things that we will be placing in Salter and Johnson Park, and probably Danbury Lane Park also. We have quite a few benches. And we have
Wondering about
benches
the
that'll definitely be going around the basketball court. So I don't know if Siobhan is fully aware of that yet, but we will bring her up to speed if she isn't.
Okay, so I was just wondering about the company itself. Is this a new company that we're using, or is
Well,
this
we go out for bids, and if they meet the bid specs, we take the lowest and best bidder. And again, we inspect all the work, that's being done. So, that's all I could tell you about this company. This is the first time that I've heard of this company, doing work for the city. And I'm trusting the work efforts of, our Parks and Rec Director, Bill Schneider, and our engineers when the work is done.
Okay?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I believe there's a letter of recommendation for Rebuild Fund by our engineers, Peer AEW. I believe that they said that they've worked with them or they're familiar with them from other work that they've done in Lower Michigan.
Okay.
Can't find the exact page right now, but it's there.
All right. Is there any further discussion? Okay. Roll call vote. Ms. Thomas, I was about to say Mrs. Franks.
Yep, just go right down the list.
Okay. So Councilwoman Costantino,
Yes,
Councilman Jenny,
Yes.
Councilwoman Pies,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki,
Yes.
Councilman Toussaint,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes,
and Mayor Kendall.
Yes. Okay. We move on to old business, and since there's no old business, we will move on to new business and the city manager's report.
Okay, Mayor and Council, item 1, award of bid, Johnson and Salter Park Basketball Court reconstruction. Mayor and Council, we recently took bids for the Johnson and Salter Park Basketball Court Improvement Program. Attached is the engineer's bid summary and his recommendation letter for this project. As his letter states, this contractor has completed several park improvement projects throughout southeast Michigan, and they are knowledgeable in their field and very capable of the work required. I have reviewed this and recommend that the low bid submitted by Warren Contractors and Development, Inc. be approved. Mayor, a resolution is required.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, Councilwoman Sawicki?
No.
Oh,
Constantine.
okay, Councilwoman Constantino.
I'll offer the resolution to accept the low bid submitted by Warren Contractors and Development Incorporated of Shelby Township in the amount of $219,638.50 for the Johnston and Salter Park Basketball Court Improvement Plan, Program number 180-263 and 180-264.
Support.
Support by Councilwoman Pies. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Sawicki?
just to clarify, the money for this particular program is coming from where?
Okay, for Johnson Park, it is going to be coming from the major road fund. For Salter Park, we're going to have a portion of it come from the local road fund and the ARPA funds.
Okay. And as far as ARPA funds are concerned, have we been taking in those funds already, or are we still waiting to get that?
I have a half allotment. I'm waiting for the second half to arrive sometime this summer.
Okay. One last question here. Is this in line with what we had anticipated for this cost? it seems
No, this
higher.
cost, I'll put it this way, when we first spec'd this project out, we didn't want to cut any corners, especially on Johnston Park. I ride by the basketball courts every single day. They are well tended, they're well played, and we stuck with our original proposal, which is water fountains, park benches, bike racks, special paints on the asphalt, swing arms so you can't drive a car, through the basketball courts. And because of the cost of petroleum and the fact that asphalt is made from petroleum and labor cost, I want to say that this project is probably about 40 to 50% higher.
Higher, right.
That's what I was afraid of.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
is this a project that we should be dividing up so that we're not hit with all these costs at once, or can we absorb this cost?
We can absorb the cost, and we're gonna have all the contractors working on Beaconsfield, tearing out all the road. We're gonna have all the road equipment out there, the milling
Right.
machines, the manpower, the gravel, slag. It's all gonna be done at that time, so to go in and to mill down the basketball courts and to repave it, when all that equipment is there, this is actually more economical to do it this way, because
Okay.
all the equipment is there.
That makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any further discussion?
Yeah, Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I've noticed, I've learned more about these ARPA funds since I went to the conference. Do we have any idea how much of the ARPA funds we've spent so far?
Commitments or actual expenditures?
Right.
Okay, everybody and their brother is hitting us up for ARPA funds. And we can have, I'll put it this way, depending on a wide variety of subjects here, and including the study for our fire assessment services. We have commitments on the ARPA funds, yes. We have been doing minimal spending from the ARPA funds, but we have some major commitments down the road, for these funds. So, I don't know if that's answered your question,
You
but
haven't given me a
that's.
dollar amount yet.
No,
Well,
well,
okay.
we're shaping all that up, I'll put it this way. We may even be putting, some of those funds into, certain road projects, so.
Only reason I was asking is because in that, they made a big deal during the conference that make the citizens aware of the ARPA funds and let us know how we're spending it, and they kind of take the citizens along with us as we're spending it. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure we all had a good understanding of how it was being spent.
Every salesperson is aware that we have ARPA funds.
Right. Absolutely. Okay, is there any further discussions? All right, let's, roll call vote, please, Mr. Thomas?
Councilman Jenny,
Yes.
Councilwoman Pies,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki,
Yes,
Councilman Tucson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes,
Mayor Kindle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino,
Yes.
Okay,
7-0.
John?
Okay. Item G2, intergovernmental agreement, Wayne County grant. Mayor and council, attached is an agreement between Wayne County and the city to fund improvements to Salter, Danbury, and Johnson Parks as requested by the Recreation Director. Attached is a breakdown of the improvements for each park, which includes picnic tables, grills, benches, tables, resurfacing the tennis court, etc. The grand total of the grant is for $75,000. It is recommended that this agreement be accepted. Mayor, a resolution is needed.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Pies?
excuse me, I'll offer by resolution to accept the Wayne County Parks Millage Fund grant in the amount of $75,000 for improvements at Danbury Park, Johnston Park, and Salter Park, and further, to authorize the mayor to sign the intergovernmental agreement between the County of Wayne and the City of Harper Woods.
support,
Support by Councilwoman Williams. Okay, roll call vote, Mrs. Thomas.
Discussion.
I'm sorry.
Because I have something I wanted to ask.
Okay.
I noticed on some of the, I know when we apply for this grant, we have to indicate how it's going to be used. And it indicates one grill at Salter Park, 2 grills at Johnston. But I also noticed that earlier, when we approved the purchase through We Build Fund, it also included grills and benches. So my concern is to make certain that all the grills are taken care of in both Salter and Johnston, because I know some of the grills at Salter Park were in pretty bad condition. And even though one is part of this Wayne County Park grant here, other grills were mentioned earlier. And so are all of the grills now going to be replaced between these two programs, the We Build Fund and this, or is that all the same thing?
That's our intention, paying for them. We're getting the money wherever we can. If we need, let's say, 6 grills, and a grant will pick up 2, and another program will pick up 2, then the city will pick up the other 2. This is just a mechanism for paying for them.
Well,
So-
and I observed through this whole thing, through today's whole agenda, that we've got a number of improvements then that are going to be taking place in our parks through these 2 different outlets. When do we anticipate that this is all going to be done?
This summer.
Yeah.
Okay, by August or by July?
It's hard to give a commitment on that because a lot of these companies now, they're struggling with employee
Employees.
turnover. So you may get a date, it may not necessarily fall on that date. Things that come up are, even getting building material. There's delays in virtually everything. So we have all the work scheduled for this summer. Hopefully, you know, everything gets constructed by this summer.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there any further discussion?
Madam
Yes,
Mayor?
Mrs. Councilwoman Williams.
Okay, this 75,000, when Wayne County Commissioner Tim Killeen was standing here speaking, this is the 75,000 that he was referring to, that's.
That's
what
correct.
happened.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay.
Are there any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote. Mrs. Thomas?
Councilwoman Pies,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki,
Yes,
Councilman Tucson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes,
Mayor Kindle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino,
Yes,
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Mayor and Council, I was planning to add, in addition to tonight's agenda, following a presentation by Elizabeth King regarding, you know, the approval of a training strategy for becoming a redevelopment-ready community. But she is not here, so I am going to
Table?
table it.
All right.
Till next meeting. And I do have a couple of comments I'd like to make, Mayor, if that's.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. One of the comments refers to getting back with some of the remarks that were asked by other council members regarding MedStar. And I did let Council Member Regina Williams know that I have talked with Kobe Miller from MedStar, and I have asked him specific questions that were asked at the council meeting. I've submitted an email to him. He told me personally that he would answer the questions in the email, but he's out of town until midweek, so I will follow up with him. Hopefully by next meeting, we'll have the answers to your questions, council member. And the next topic is speed bumps. I went driving through the city of Detroit all this weekend, both on the east side and the west side, to look and examine and see how these speed bumps are placed. And I want to say that they work. The speed bumps that are in the city of Detroit, they work, but they all have a commonality. They all are built on asphalt roads. Every single one that I saw was on an asphalt road. It was, I want to say, melded in with the surface, and the majority of roads in the city of Harper Woods are cement. So I don't know what kind of challenge that would pose to, I want to say, saw out sections of cement and put asphalt there or cement. I know it would be terribly expensive, but I just wanted to make the council members aware of the fact that when people are talking about the speed bumps and the success of the speed bumps in Detroit, yes, they are on asphalt roads, and they may be a solution for our problem here in the city on the asphalt roads. As far as the cement roads, we're gonna have a discussion on what we can do there. And I do want to say that the city of Detroit also has a procedure when speed bumps are requested. There is an application process that the residents must complete and must state a reason, and those applications are screened by either their DPW or some other group as far as practical application. And it isn't a matter of somebody, you know, calling up City Hall demanding a speed bump on their street. There is an actual application process. So Bill has provided me, our superintendent, with some applications for residential speed bumps requests. We're gonna take a look at them and explore this whole topic. And Madam Mayor and Council, that concludes the city manager's report.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we will have a call to audience. Come. Hey,
Up there, it's too far to walk.
I understand.
Onto Lemon Street. It's been a long time since I've been down here.
Yeah.
To rescue. Okay, two quick things. I don't know why you didn't ask me about the town to begin with, since I volunteered 3 days a week there for 15 years and am still on their volunteer list. There's about 9 more things that the town offers that she didn't remember, but that's okay. What you should do to begin with is ask them to send you their brochure, which I got mine in the mail today. It gives you everything in the book, who's responsible for what they have, what they charge for, and what they don't charge for. And most of what they have, they charge for. As far as the tax bus system is concerned, they just extended their no fare to the end of May, and then they will reassess.
Okay, thank you.
Also, speed bumps. Any chance when you were out driving, John, did you go to Anita Street?
I was in the city of Detroit.
Well, you should check Anita, cause they got speed bumps all over Anita Street, and I've been up and down and bump. So I don't know what kind of, you said it.
I was talking about like a specific kind.
It's an asphalt.
It's an
Integrated.
asphalt blended bump.
Right.
That, I wanna
Okay,
say,
I just didn't know
yeah.
whether when you were driving around, you had ever realized there are speed bumps
Oh,
on
yeah.
Anita.
Yeah, I know there are. I
Okay,
hit them a few times.
Back to the helm. I think you're very wise to check out the $16,000, because the helm charges a stiff fee for nearly everything.
Right.
And a smaller fee if you pay $60 a year to be a member. If you're not a member, then it's gonna cost you $5 to $8 more. They do show movies, they take you on trips, they charge quite a bit for their lunches,
Mm-hmm.
and their parties, and their cocktail hour. So, get them to send you a book, and then maybe come over and explain themselves.
All right. Good to see you, Ann. Is there any? Yes, Mr. Hakeem.
They should start charging for a cocktail hour. Larry Hakeem on Littlestone. A couple of questions. I was reading the Grosse Pointe News last week or 2 weeks ago, and I sent this article to a couple council members regarding Great Lakes Water Authority and Grosse Pointe Shores residents passed a ordinance regarding lawn watering times and days, limiting the amount of water usage in the city, or at least keeping a better handle on the amount of money, because it seems every meeting for the last 15 or 17 years that I've lived in Harper Woods, somebody brings up the price of water and sewage at this place. So I don't know if this council has ever discussed or talked about putting some kind of an ordinance into the city as far as, you know, what time of the day during the summer, or what time of the months of the year that we actually allow watering of lawns. I figure if the mega millionaires in St. Clair, or in Grosse Pointe Shores are concerned about it, then it's something that we should be concerned about and paying attention to. Another conversation that came up just the other day was, again, from Grosse Pointe. I think it was either the city or the park. They were in a big tizzy over this water bill from Highland Park that wasn't paid, that now we're all paying for. And I don't think I like that idea at all.
None
First
of
of
us
all,
do.
'cause if I'm gonna pay for the water, I'm gonna water my lawn or take a bath in it. And I really don't care what they're doing in Highland Park, and I'm sure not gonna pay their water bill. And I don't know if our council is discussing anything that has to do anything with that. All I know is our water bills are ridiculous, along with every other bill in town, including, I mean, you know, and we're all, you know, inflation's inflation, gas is gas, forget all that garbage. I mean, it's gonna go up, it's gonna go down, but these are things that are affecting us on a daily basis, regular basis, that is the job of the city council to be addressing, researching, and going over, and then bringing some kind of a plan or something, proposal back to the residents of the city. And we keep talking about Harper Woods and Grosse Pointe and Harper Woods. Well, if all these people that are, you know, in my case, 2 doors over from my house is the Grosse Pointe Woods house, if they're all concerned about getting all this stuff done, how come we never discuss any of this? So I don't know if somebody has looked into this Highland Park water bill situation or hasn't, but it's definitely something we need to look into and find out why Harper Woods residents are bailing out Highland Park. I mean, water filters and things are a nice, cute idea, but that's what it is. It's a cute idea. We got good water here. So to spend 15 or 20 minutes of the city's time in city council meeting to talk about filters was nice, but let's talk about the things that are costing us a fortune and the bills that we're paying for other people that we shouldn't have to pay. And I had one other thing, but you got me all sidetracked. Anyway, I got stuck, I don't even drink, and I got stuck on the cocktail hour thing. I don't know what it is. Anyway, I think that's it for now.
Okay. Well, Mr. Hakeem, just to answer your question, it's not that we stand up on the building shouting, but we work within the compounds of what we can do. But what you can do is contact your state representative and also your state senator. And also because it had to be legislation that allowed them, the Great Lakes Authority, to do this. We didn't do this. So
Do
you
we as the
need to know
city-
you need to let your representatives know your displeasure and this and anything else like this, because that's a part of the Great Lakes Authority that did this. And they had to have legislation in order to do this.
Are we represented at whatever
You have
meetings they
your
have that
representative,
votes for this kind of
Ms.
stuff?
Yancey, Representative, State Representative Tanisha Yancey,
Yeah.
and your Senator, Adam Hollier. So you need to call their office and see what they can do to assist you, because they have allowed this to happen.
And just for clarification too.
Please.
What happens is we don't have a water plant here. We buy water from the system.
Right.
Right.
So whatever kind of formula they come up with, we have to accept it and pass it on, you know, to our residents here. Because if we refuse to buy water, you won't have any water to use, you know, in your homes.
I get that.
And there are public meetings on this, and, you know, I have gone to the public meetings, Bill has been to the public meetings, our engineer has been to the public meetings. This has been a bone of contention
Right.
for a long time, and, you know, because water costs are going up anyway,
Right.
because the infrastructure is bad that the water is traveling through, and labor costs, everything that's hitting everybody is hitting a big water system. So what we have to do is we buy the water, we make sure that it's not leaking too badly. You know, I want to say during our freeze and thaw system that we had just about a month and a half ago, we broke how many lines, Bill? About 14, 16?
About 14 maybe, right?
Yeah, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So those things contribute to, I want to say, water usage and bills going up, but it isn't because we're neglecting that. It's,
No, I trust me, I'm not insinuating in any way that we are. I'm just saying, you know, for out of the blue, I hear a news report or read an article about how Grosse Pointe, which we're you know, unfortunately attached to it at the Naval for some reason, is paying Highland Park's deficit water bill, so their water doesn't get shut off.
Well, everybody's doing that. Everybody that's on the system is, they have, I wanna say, an administrative overhead fee that's attached to everybody that purchases water
And
from their system.
they make that decision. It's nothing they bring
They-
to city by city.
Right, that's what I said.
No,
No, we
that
definitely would
stinks.
not agree to that.
That stinks, yeah.
Well, we don't have any choice, but your displeasure to us is not us. So Great Lakes Authority, your representatives, give them an earful.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate the responses.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? State your name and, because I can't tell by the mask. Hi.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, members, residents. I'm here tonight because I'm concerned, my name's Rebecca Roberts Nocita. I'm a 25-year resident of Harper Woods. When I first moved here, it was a beautiful city. Homes were kept up, lawns were kept up. It was beautiful, one of the reasons we chose to live here. But recently and within the last couple years, I've noticed a serious decline in people keeping up their homes, cutting their lawns, trash in backyards, cars being parked on front lawns and not on driveways. And I'm not seeing anything. I've called multiple times when I've noticed things. It's possibly addressed, but then it just continues to happen. Another concern of mine is that I've noticed there's a major rodent rat problem in the city. And that's more than likely due to the overflowing trash in a lot of the backyards, which I can see just driving down my street. And I haven't toured the entire city. And I'm wondering if we do have ordinances, and I'd like to see those enforced.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that all of these issues addressed, because the city is just turning into a filthy and disgusting. So, I mean, I don't, that's why I'm here tonight.
Okay, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Because that is part of the thing that we're rolling out for the spring.
Okay.
It's really, you will see the enforcement of ordinance, and it's gonna be a lot of unhappy people, but it's gonna be a lot of happy people for when we get our city cleaned back up once again.
I have security cameras around my home. Every night, rats are running through my backyard into my neighbor's yard. And when I call the city, this is what goes out to my neighbors. And is just a letter saying, please clean up. These are probably being thrown in the trash. I'm almost certain of it, because I don't see anybody. I mean, it's like you live with it. What, I don't think that's something we should live with.
Just give us a little time
We have a
and we will,
beautification committee.
we should have
you
it
know,
better
This
underhand.
definitely needs to be addressed.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak? State your name.
Shonda Davis, Chief Operation Officer for Harper Woods and I'm gonna be real brief. We have a partnership with DTE, and within the next couple of months, we're gonna send out a notice for those that need assistance with their DTE bill. DTE has several programs, and they're willing to help people kind of have a zero to no balance, and they have funding available to help assist pay for your utilities and gas through DTE. So look for that within the next 60 days. and mark it on your calendar and tell your friends and neighbors, and it's for Harper Woods only. So we do have funds from DTE, and we will be assisting paying bills within the next 60 days. So go harperwoodshelpinghands.com. harperwoodshelpinghands.com. Also, you know, we have the food program with the contract with Trader Joe's and the USDA, successfully running, and we have it here in Harper Woods. So if you need some food, Trader Joe's is free. It will be delivered to your house on a weekly basis as well.
How do you get that?
harperwoodshelpinghands.com.
Oh, I see.
So with Trader Joe's, you receive all type of meats, fruits, vegetables, bread, fish, steaks, chicken, everything from the entire store we receive, and we have volunteers package it up weekly and drop it off to people's homes. There's no income criteria. If you're hungry, we will feed you.
And I'd like to say that because of Councilwoman Pye's husband introduced us to Ms. Davis, is that's the reason that we ended up creating the Harper Woods Helping Hands. And Alex was on his weekly walk, and so that's around about when we ended up becoming involved between Councilwoman Pye's. So thank you very much, and we appreciate you so very much. Okay. All right, Mr. Jarvis, after he finished.
Good evening, council. I got three things. First of all, first one I'm going to address is it's hit the news pretty big here lately that Michigan is getting a blank load of money for pumping stations. And why are we not going after that money? And Stabeno is the one. They're going to give it to Wayne County, Port Huron. I hear nothing about Milk River to offset some of the costs that it's cost us. They're going to do the same thing in those pumping stations that we've done out of our own pocket. And this is the money coming from Help America, or whatever you want to call it. Okay? So we need to get in contact with them. Okay? Second of all, there are humps, not bumps in Detroit. And if you ever watched how they do it, yes, they do have asphalt, but they actually cut down the asphalt and into the cement at an angle, and they pour that asphalt into those and up through the asphalt, so it's a smooth over the hump.
Yes, it's asphalt to asphalt, yes.
No, they actually dig right in, they go down below the asphalt, and they go right into the cement that's under the asphalt.
Yes.
But there's cement surface there. I mean, asphalt surface.
No, I understand,
Yeah,
but
that makes all the difference in the world.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, they cut down into the cement so that it's a smooth up and over. We need them definitely, because I called the police 3 or 4 times and asked for an officer down at my end. On Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we got some idiot with a Hellcat and a Charger and all that, and went around the corner at Roscommon and Lansdowne on 2 wheels and sped right through up to Kelly, and then down, didn't even stop at Kelly, he just blew right around. And that was all weekend long they were out because it was nice.
Did you call the police?
Oh yeah, 3 times.
Well, I'll speak to that because we're talking right now with Wayne County Sheriff's Department, and they will be doing patrols and traffic violations here in Harper Woods. And we're also hopefully to get Detroit to work on their side, and Michigan State Police to do veneer. So we're in negotiations with that, And in a very few weeks, you will see the crackdown on traffic within our city limits.
The third thing is, I don't know how many of you live in the Harper Woods school system. You know, we'd like to keep and get people to move here, and one of the things is to have a good school system, okay? My grandson is third generation, and I'm not asking the council, I'm
You
asking
can't.
the people that that live here in Harper Woods, that you need to get informed about what's going on at our school. I am right now getting paperwork to move my grandson to Van Dyke Warren. People are jumping ship, including the teachers, are bailing. It's so bad with the teachers that they're appointing lunch ladies and janitors as teachers. So you guys, as members of Harper Woods and in the Harper Woods school system, need to get informed and start voicing your opinion to this school board, because they ain't listening to nobody.
Okay.
Joe Menino's on it, and she's kind of, I've talked to her several times, and she says she gets voted down all the time. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Mr. Jarvis?
All righty, my name is Michael W. Jarvis. I live at 19434 Eastwood Drive. Madam Mayor, members of City Council, gotta kind of forgive me, I've been a little under the weather, you know, so. Anyway, I want to start this out on a good note. I want to thank Mayor Kendall. You have kept some of your campaign promises.
Trying.
Thank you. Now, for the other half of that, I'd like to see the city council members step it up a little bit. I've seen a little bit tonight. Good job tonight. Questions being asked. But I do know that, for example, one of the councilmen here, one of his campaign promises was to bring the city council together. I would like to see that, to see it more. I'm just saying, you have to understand, because of everything that's going on. You know, like all around the city, prices are going up, and we don't have enough police, you know, talking about speed bumps. It's a lot of money to do that. I did concrete work for a long time. And I think that there's other ways that we can go about helping the speeders slow down.
Yes. Without
spending all this money. I also do want to thank John. I know that I've been a little hard on you in the past. But I see that you're actually doing a good job for what you do. Which brings me to my next question, and I don't want to be blown off on this. I'm glad that we're not in that Zoom crap anymore. You have no idea how mad that makes me. No idea. Especially when I ask a question and I get an answer, well, we'll let the audience speak. Okay. Anyway, let's get back to city business here, which I think is very important. I mentioned this in the past. It is not fair to John that John has taken all this extra responsibility. You cannot be effective running 3 different, jobs at the same time and training people. So when I ask about getting a city manager, there is a huge urgency before the elections, and it's like it kind of went away. And I hear excuses like, well, most cities are paying $160,000 and blah, 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 blah. Harper Woods can't afford that. But, I think $80,000 a year is pretty good money. Huh? I mean, how much money does it take to be, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to make everybody kind of think here. Everybody wants the best of the best. If you want the best of the best, you're going to pay. So, you know, like I heard earlier, they're talking, well, you want employees or people that have been around for 20, 30, 40 years. That's not always the answer. I think that if you should look for candidates who know the basics, or maybe just a little more, but that are willing to learn, those are the people you want to attract. And you don't have to pay them this top dollar. I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, you know, that's a lot of money. But my whole point about the city manager thing here is, it's not fair to John. I'm sure John has well, maybe he doesn't have a personal life because he's working so hard. But it's not fair to John. So I'm just kind of wondering where you sit on the city manager point here.
Thank you.
Okay? That's all.
That is still open, and we're trying, we have that out there, but it is, we just had a group of people that was graduated from MML over the weekend. How many was that, Cheryl? Was it about 10 or 13 women
They had,
that finished at
about 13,
1650?
14,
How many did you say it was?
I don't recall exactly. It may have been close to 10. It was part of the Michigan Municipal League.
Right.
1650
Wait,
project.
they weren't all there, they weren't all present. There were about 7 of them or so there, but there were others that graduated as well.
So we're putting that back out, and we still have it open on our website. The problem is that everyone is clamoring for city managers as well as police officers and firefighters and all that stuff. And so we're trying to make ourselves as attractive as we possibly can. Yes, John has been doing a yeoman's job. As we keep saying to each other, we have been baptized by fire here, and we're trying to make the best of it. As the mayor, I am here to help John as much as I possibly can. It's just, we're still looking for a city manager. We have not stopped. It's just that we have not had any really actable candidates thus far. So we're putting it back out for those new graduates from MML, and maybe we can find somebody out of that group of women. They were all women. That may be interested.
Brought it up for, you know, for the accountability to get fired back.
I understand tremendously. John has done a job that's beyond being great. It's beyond that. He has done a fabulous job of keeping our city on point and also bringing in the money, which is most important. And so therefore, I'm so grateful to him. But we have to try to help him out as much as we possibly can and do our part as city council members and as mayor to help him out as much as possible until we find someone that can fill the bill of being our city manager. We don't want to jump in the fire once again, as we did before, and make sure we have the right person for the right job that can truly represent us. Okay? Is there anyone else in the audience? Oh, okay, okay. All right then. So let's call the council, and starting with Councilwoman Williams.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just had 2 comments. One about the Parks and Recreation. I know more on this council meeting, a lot was said about Parks and Recreation improvement at all 3 of our parks, Danbury, Salter, and Johnston. I enjoy going to Salter and attempting to play basketball. I'm not very good at it, but I still enjoy having that basketball court there. And also the one at Johnston, because there was a lot of people at Johnston, so I go to Salter because it's smaller and no one could see me throw my little shots. So I'm really glad about those improvements. I'm hoping those improvements will be done in enough time for the kids getting out of school to
Yes.
actually enjoy, being able to use them.
We,
Um,
we're hoping.
The other thing is the water filters, about our water filters. I know we had a program, we were giving out water filters also. So I was wondering, are we still doing that? Are we still having water filters at our, from the city?
We still have some.
Right.
And residents come, they pick them up. But this is a program that's piggybacking on that.
Right.
Because some of the filters, I don't wanna say they're a little more complicated, but they may take some instructions to, put them on a certain kind of faucet. So that's why Wayne County has been making themselves accessible, but we still have some filters, yes.
And that was through the Michigan Department of Social Services.
Yes.
That sent these people, so that's where we got the original ones from also.
So I look forward to our parks,
Yeah, they're gonna look spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
They
Okay.
really are.
Mr. Jennings?
Yeah, I'll piggyback on the Parks and Rec. I know that Wayne County did a little something special for Mr. Woback. Are we thinking about doing anything for his years of service?
He didn't want anything.
Yeah, he's kinda.
He did
I know,
not.
but-
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was hard to get him here
Well, I
today.
think
Right.
we get him here again.
Mhm.
I'd like,
Yeah.
like to see something done for him, his years of service.
Okay.
And that's
Yeah.
really about it.
He did not, we.
I know, and I wouldn't either, but it's,
Yes, I
Maybe
would
just
like
mail
to
it
do
to him.
something. Right. Okay. Mr. Pye, Councilwoman Pies?
I'm all set. Yeah, no, I'm good, I'm good.
You know, he was quick. He never
Good point.
long-winded.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to say, except, I'll be attending a meeting tomorrow with, GPAS regarding a canine, fundraising breakfast. I think this
Okay,
one
thank
is a-
you.
I'm sorry?
Sorry.
Oh, I wasn't talking to you, honey. I was talking to Maria.
All right, thanks, you're done.
I didn't do that to you.
Thank you. Yes, or even two. Anyway, I'll be attending a meeting tomorrow with GPAS for our annual canine fundraising breakfast. This one's planned to be actually on site where we can all sit and talk with each other. As of now, we don't have a specific date, but it will be either the end of April or mid-May. I'll be able to report on that at the next council meeting. And that's all I have to say for now. Thank you.
Okay. Councilwoman Sawicki?
Yes, quick, couple of things. First of all, I was contacted by a resident, Kristen Olin Sullivan, and many of her comments were echoed by the comments of Ms. Roberts this evening concerning homes not kept up, trash in yards, et cetera. I have also been concerned about this. I reached out when I got the email today to our acting city manager who passed along the word. And one thing really startled me in hearing from different department heads that there have been threats by people in the community when they have received notices that they need to clean up. And they have literally threatened members of the DPW, threatened, people that are, their job is to reach out to these community members. I think all of us agree, you buy a house in Harper Woods, you're buying a house here because you want a good quality of life. You want a neighborhood that you can rely on and depend on, and it's a
Enjoy.
good community to raise a family in. If you're gonna buy into Harper Woods, then you sure as heck better be ready to live up to the standards that you want in this community. And that means if you're putting your trash can out 2 days early or not picking it up 3 days after trash collection, and you hear from, DPW or the police or the building department with a ticket, then too bad. You violated one of our community standards and you deserve a ticket. All right? So we can't have people in our community who are complaining about our lack of standards and complaining about upholding those standards, we have to uphold the standards that we expect to have in this community. And I think that goes toward everything that we've been complaining about over the last several months. But I know for a fact, DPW has itself written 1,207 high grass and weed tickets just in 2021. 218 tickets for littering, for, trash cans and this sort of thing. They've sent out nearly 450 letters to residents, 510 property maintenance letters. We're talking about a lot of work in one department, let alone the police who have their own jurisdiction for things, that they need to uphold, and our building department who has we've got a lot of people in our community that have to step back and take responsibility for living here and maintaining their property. And I think that all of us here, all good people in Harper Woods know that if someone's not doing the job, not upholding their property, not living up to community expectations, we want them to be notified. We want them to get a ticket. And I, for one, support the efforts that our DPW, our building department, and our police department is doing to maintain the standards of our community. So thank you to those departments that have to do this work. I apologize whenever you feel threatened by a community member who is not doing what they need to do. But I think all of us need to step up and support our community so that we live in the community we want to live in, so that our standards are upheld.
All right, very well said.
One other quick thing. Mr. Hakeem had mentioned the issue with GLWA, the Great Lakes Water Authority, and Highland Park. For those of you who aren't familiar with this, and I wasn't, but I did a little quick research, Highland Park has not paid their water bill for 9 years. And as a result, the state stepped in and told GLWA that they could not turn off the water in that community. And Highland Park has been collecting water funds, but not turning it over. So they have been taking in money from the members of their community, and as a result, all of us are paying for it. So if, I'm gonna ask the acting city manager to determine whether a letter is appropriate from our community. I think it is. That we should, there's a lawsuit right now that GLWA has pending, and I think that the judge in that lawsuit should hear from us. That our representative and our senators should know that we do not support the state in their determination. And I think that we should move forward on that, because they need to hear from communities. They need to know that we shouldn't have to pay for their water,
Very well stated, and we've already made inroads for that. But we got to also remember that when the emergency manager taking over Highland Park, Highland Park had their own water system.
And they were told to shut it down.
So it was a mess that was created by the state, and the state has allocated for the rest of us to pony up for what was their mistake.
Right. The
So-
state has a lot of money. The state is sitting on money that they should be able to use for this. If they
Right,
don't-
it should not fall on us.
Right, the state should
But
be
that's
paying
why I
for it.
said that you need to let your legislators and your senator all know your displeasure in this. This is not just something, because we have no choice in the matter. What they say we do, we have to do, or they'll turn off our water. So it has to come from the state level, because they're the ones who created this mess when they turned it over to emergency manager. 10 years ago.
We'll have a talk with our city attorney too, as well.
All right. Councilman Toussaint?
First of all, I want to piggyback on Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki on this with the neighbors. It just seems like nowadays people just don't take constructive criticism well. As soon as you make a suggestion to someone about doing something or improving, the first thing they want to do is just lash out at you, you know. And I found that even on my own street, you know, we get new residents, they move there because it's beautiful. Well, it's beautiful because we don't have trash cans on the street or have a whole lot of cars on the street, but we work to do that. And they get there and come with some of their own habits, and then the next thing you know, we try to tell them, hey, you see beautiful this, and they want to get angry with you. So it's a little tough, and sometimes you just turn it over to the police and let them do it. But you know, sometimes you have to handle your own problems a little bit. But anyway, so much for that. We beat that quite a bit. We'll keep on. Anyway, I want to comment a little bit about the Michigan conference. First of all, I want to talk about Eastland a little bit. I just had, when I was at the Michigan Municipal League Conference, or CAPCAN, I had the opportunity to sit next to the Mayor Robert McCraw from Romulus. And I remember North Point saying they had done some business with them. North Point also developed a Converse Center like they are doing with us with Eastland. They have about 650 square feet in 2 buildings, where we have 1,031 square feet, or 7.9 acres in 3 buildings. He says everyone only thinks Amazon has these distribution centers, but right now he told me that they have DHL, Pitney Bowes, Home Depot, Hearns, and a third party involved with the Ford Bronco. And he said all is going very well. He said, I said, what kind of challenge did you have? He said, well, if you want to consider this a challenge, it's just sometimes, you know, it's a matter of coordinating with the building, or with building expectations, with their, and with the city departments, and making sure each department knows what needs to be done and to get the next step. That's just kind of business and coordinating that. But otherwise, he said that's no real big deal. And then Sunday, I heard on the news Saturday morning about a signature association, which did not sound like a company that needed distribution. So I talked to Tim Candor, the director of the development. He said it was an industrial leasing broker that they had hired to find tenants for us. He says, I am sure you have noticed the mall is coming down. We had a little delay working with DTA and shutting off power. Not sure what is next. Macy's on a small little power plant that was there. But all is going well. I just want to tell everybody, so they've already been a guinea pig, and we should only see good results as a result of that. Now, I also, at the conference, we had, it was very informative and wonderful conference with over the general sessions. In addition, they had several workshops, and you had a choice of attending. Everything from navigating state and federal funds for drinking water infrastructure, making the dollar stretch, allocating our those ARP funds that we're speaking of, emergency management training for local governments, housing Michigan with new legislative action, ordinances on writing those, charging for the future of electrification and thinking about that, federal stimulus impacts and opportunities for Michigan, the latest on marijuana in Michigan, which, you know, we're definitely going to have to address here, that we are addressing right now in our own community, and more. Another thing I wanted to bring on to is, like, I want to say I was very, very proud to see our Mayor Valerie Kendall and Councilwoman Veronica Pius both received a level award recognition for successfully completing a level from the Michigan Municipal Academy, Elected Officials Academy, demonstrating to our community that you have taken the time to improve yourself by attending workshops and performing leadership activities in our community. Or even greater importance is the fact that Harper Woods will benefit from the education experience that you have gained. And as a result of them doing that, I said, look, I'm gonna jump on this bandwagon. So hope about it next year, I will definitely be getting a recognition award for that also. So I want to give them a congratulations from all of us for that wonderful achievement that they have. And you can see that their heart is definitely in the community.
Okay.
So that's all.
All right.
It was very, very motivating to go to the Michigan Municipal League Conference. And I hadn't been to one in a while, so I was really excited to go to this one. I had suffered at work from it because the sub that I had didn't do a good job, so I had a lot of cleaning up to do when I got back, but it was still worth it. I first attended the emergency management FEMA cert training, the federal emergency management training, because we each chose something to go to. And I chose last because I've been to a lot of these other trainings already. And so I wanted to give them a chance to go what they were interested in. But I'm really glad I went to the FEMA emergency management training because I think it really will apply to we have a crime reduction law enforcement task force through the NEDC. And I think a lot of this training that they want us to have and they want elected officials to be aware of, I think that's something that we can do with that. So anybody who's interested in the crime reduction law enforcement task force or whatever, stick around for just a minute afterwards so we can set up a meeting and the chief, we can get going. Now that we have a new chief, we can get going on that.
Wait.
But that's
not, yeah.
I'll move on. All right. I was actively recruiting city manager candidates there. It was a great place to do it. People come up to you and say, hey, is Harperwood still looking for a city manager? Or I would be talking about it with some different people. And a couple of names came out of the woodwork. I was sitting next to someone at the Black Caucus Luncheon who is a city manager on the other side of the state. And he wants to come back to this side of the state to be close to his family and such. I know he's city manager, assistant city manager maybe. And so I was telling him all about it. I was like, you need to apply, because he had credentials over 20 years experience. I said, we need someone with experience. So that was a great place to network on that. I attended the Future of Electrification. Electric cars apparently are the future of our country. And so putting in the infrastructure for electric cars and electric, different types of electrical sources, they're, what can I say? They leave a smaller carbon footprint than gasoline engines, but also a lot of other things that are being used for other types of electrification. And most importantly, it helps us become more energy independent. So that was talked about, that people of all political persuasions were very interested in. And so basically, anytime we have a new structure going up, like this new structure going up where Eastland is now, they would be responsible for putting in the infrastructure so that if they wanted to put in electrification or electric car plug-in stations, everything like that, they would have to put it in right from the get-go. And that potential, even if they don't put in these stations now, they would have to put in the possibility for it or the proper infrastructure for it.
That's already in their plans.
Yeah, I know that, but also they're talking about residential as well. So if we're looking at Hupard,
Well, that's already a part of the
yeah,
plan
that
for,
needs to be in there as well.
that's a
good.
part of the plan for
Right.
Papar also.
Then we talked about civic and business buy-ins where they would have citizens actually they can help fund different businesses in the community or help fund different civic things in the community and let individuals actually become a part owner of it, or they can be an investor. They talked about that extensively, and then I went to that workshop, and that was really interesting. They talked about a place in Traverse City. It's like a community building, but they have a coffee shop, and they have some different nonprofits and businesses there where they're letting people buy in. So for as little as $50, you can become a part owner. So I was thinking, just to see what was going on, I might just, buy in over in Traverse City and become part owner of this coffee shop or whatever, see how it's going. But what they find is if people are part owners, then they tend to frequent those businesses and those things, so they always have a healthy return, because when you buy in, that's where you go. You want to support your business. We talked a lot about short-term rentals and, ironically, the housing shortage. So apparently some of these legislative rules that make it so easy to have short-term rentals, that we're required to allow short-term rentals up to 30%, which I think in this community is ridiculous. However, if it's somewhere near the water, 30% might not be enough, you know, something like that. So I don't see how they can impose a percentage on us. That's just ridiculous to me. But because it's so easy to rent out your house for Airbnb or whatever, they're losing a lot of landlords. So now we're having a serious housing shortage. And they dug their own grave with that one, as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah. Anyway, then I had a chance to hang out with my other council members and do some things. So that was a good opportunity, because with all of us being separated over the last couple of years virtually, and then the election and some other contentious stuff, it was a chance to get past some of that and, you know, do some things together. So.
All right then. So I'm the last person, and I'm going to make this very quick because, first of all, the Lions Club will have their pancake breakfast April 10th on Palm Sunday at the AmVets. And I will have tickets. I don't think I put them in my purse today. So anyway, I'll get with that. And then we have the Lions placemats. So all those on council that want to be on the Lions placemat, please let me know, and we'll go from there.
Cost of tickets?
Pasta.
Cost.
Did I say pasta?
No. Cost.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How much are they?
Oh, $10.
Okay.
Is this gonna be virtual, drive-through, or be come inside?
Oh, no, it's in person. Well, if the numbers don't continue to go up, it will be inside.
Cool.
But if the numbers go up, it will be drive-through. Okay? Yes, I don't want to take a chance. Okay, so now, it's the end of the meeting. I haven't said adjourn yet, but I want to say happy birthday to Bob. Rob, I want to say happy birthday to Bob Gray. It is his birthday. Today is his birthday, and Vivian, can you do the honors of saying happy birthday? Start
Oh,
off.
yeah, by myself? No, you guys are all gonna sing if we're gonna.
All right.
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bob. Happy birthday to you. Now, he can't wait to get home and eat his cake. So, so Mr. Jennings,
I would,
You realize he can edit this out.
I'd like to make the motion for adjournment.
Support.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Valerie, I didn't want to take any more time, but if we're gonna be right